Okay, so I've heard you're a big fan of cereal. Is this true? And if so, why?
Is this true? It's a complicated answer. It
Sorry.
it feels like I should be able to give a yes or no here, but there's actually some explanation worth having. I'm I like cereal just fine. Uh, I can't. The last time I had a bowl of cereal was at like a Hampton Inn at like 6 in the morning when I just needed something before I went for a run. I'm not I'm not a big cereal eater, but I did do these cereal reviews for like a year, and that was just I thought it'd be funny.
Like funny to your body or funny to the world or what way funny?
Mean, both, part of the gag, you might say, is that I would do these reviews very seriously, and it's the juxtaposition of me being, I suppose, a serious writer type,
Yeah.
explaining to you why this new variation of cinnamon toast crunch is worth eating, right? So,
Yeah.
um, I thought it'd just be fun. And going back to something we said earlier, I'm a big believer in just sort of like reaching people wherever they are. And
Fair
so,
enough.
if a shocking number of people watch me have to forcibly choke down a gross cereal, and they think it's funny, which it was, and then they're like, I wonder what else that guy does.
All right. Yeah. Whatever gets them in the door, right?
They find some of
Yeah.
my like actual work, then I consider that a win.
No, I love that. I love that. And did you do any research on the cereals? Did you do your usual deep dive or was it this was more surface level?
This was much more surface level. This was
Okay.
much more. Although no, I take that back because eventually it got to a point where I didn't know what was new coming out, so I was like signing up for press releases, like, going through like the General Mills and the Kellogg websites, and sort of like seeing what was on deck, coming to
Gotcha. Got-
research.
Gotcha. Didn't expect that answer either. I love it. What is the best piece of writing, not yours, by anyone else, could be any essay, blog post, book, anything that you've read in recent memory?
In recent memory, I just gonna turn around here.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, a book that I loved. It's certainly not. It's not like a popular. It's not like for popular audiences. But a book that I love is the Interbellum Constitution by a legal scholar, Alison LaCroix, just about like American constitutional thought between the War of 1812 and the Civil War. It's a
Hmm.
fascinating book. It includes basically a mini biography of this attorney general, early attorney general, whose name I just completely forgot, who spent some time in the Charlottesville area. So it was like fun to read about him and his
Yeah,
adventure.
yeah.
Something a little more accessible than that I reread and return to actually on a pretty regular basis is it is a piece of 19th century work. I spent a lot of time mentally in the 19th century.
I
Uh,
can tell. And the 17th, it seems.
yeah,
Yeah.
is it's actually Karl Marx's The 18th Brumaire of Louis Napoleon, and
Oh, interesting.
it's his journalistic account of the French coup of like 1851. And it's you don't have to be a left winger or a socialist or any of that to
Sure.
get value from this book because it's one of the best pieces of political journalism ever written. Um,
Tell me why. What is it that is so interesting?
it's both a really just fascinating journalistic account of this like major historical event with Marx sort of like laying out. Marx was a working journalist for his entire
Mm,
career. So laying out the players, laying out the situation, sort of giving you a sense, really feeling like you're in the mix of what's
mm,
happening in this event. It has a very propulsive style about it. Um, but then also Marx being, a social critic is also bringing to bear his sort of like vision of how history unfolds. What are the forces driving history? And so it's this melding of journalism and political theory that I find that's like it is very compelling, but also I think is a useful model for just like how to produce how to produce um,
the work.
work that I'm
Yeah.
interested in producing. And I find myself on the regular reading people doing this kind of journalistic social criticism from decades past just for inspiration.
Yeah. I know that you do photography. I'm curious, what camera do you prefer? What kind of film and why?
So the camera I use the most is a Leica M4P. For people who don't know cameras, Leica Lights camera company is have been making cameras in Germany since like the 1910s, I think 20s, a long time. And they make what's called rangefinders, which are different from an SLR camera where there's no mirror or anything. It's just lens on the body, and you look through like a separate little window, and you align a distance meter to come into focus. Um, they're kind of precisely engineered little cameras. They're small. The lenses are usually have excellent quality, and they're just kind of fun to use. Makes the shutter makes a fun sound. I like it, and that's it's real. I like
It's only a 35 millimeter camera, also.
35 millimeter
Yeah,
camera. I like analog photography in general. I mean, the film looks different, and my favorite film for that, on that note, is a film called Ilford XP2 Super. It's a black and white film. Um, but for me, it's as much like just I like the mechanical process of like messing with the camera, sounds, knobs, the fact that there's nothing automatic happening. So I actually have to sort of like be mentally engaged with the
yeah.
process. I like.
Do your kids look at you and say, "Where is the picture?" Because mine do. They're like, "Where is it?" I'm like, "It's in here. You can't see it right now."
So what's so funny is because I've always had film cameras,
Yeah,
my kids just sort of they're like, yeah, that's how a camera works.
nice.
You can't always see the picture. And for them, you can see the picture if it's a phone or if it's an instant camera. So
Got it.
they already have like a mental schema of there are cameras for which you cannot see the picture,
Yeah,
and there are cameras for which you can.
yeah,
Um, it's funny in a similar way. I have like a big, two big bookshelves of DVDs and Blu-rays and such. And my kids, when I'm like, "Hey, you guys want to watch a movie?" They're like, "Is it a movie you have to put into the machine, or is it a movie you can just turn on the TV to watch?" Like they understand that there's
yeah,
some stuff that it's physical.
yeah. It's a different experience.
Yeah.
So little of that now, but that's nice. That's nice. All right. What is the best compliment or insult you've ever gotten about your work? And sometimes the answers to this one, especially if it's the insult, have been like amazing.
I mean, okay, so I'll start with compliment. The best compliments I get, like I got a bunch this weekend actually, because I interviewed this law student who has a great new biography of Charles Sumner, who was a U.S. senator from Massachusetts from 1851 to 1874. I did an interview with him, long interview. It was really interesting, and we ran it in my newsletter, and it's gotten like a really positive reception from readers, like tons of readers, and I've been getting like emails from readers since Saturday. And they're all sort of like and for me, the highest compliments, like I learned so much reading this. That's all I want. All I want. Don't got to agree with me. Just if you learn something, that's all I want. Now, insults.
Yes.
It's fun. It's funny. Very often, kind of actually going back to what we discussed earlier. Sometimes people don't actually read what I write, and so like their insults are just sort of like unrelated
Yeah.
to anything that I've actually produced. Like I can't think of anyone who like read something I wrote and then wrote about it to me, and they were like insulting me because at that point, by that point, that person is just like politely disagreeing, right? Like they're not.
Okay. Yeah.
But people have certainly insulted me, and the funniest insult I feel like I've ever gotten is someone once on Twitter said, "Who is this guy? He looks like a gay 50 Cent," which I thought was
My
really.
God.
I don't like.
That's
I don't look like 50 Cent. First of all, uh,
yeah.
I'm not gay, but it was just a funny combination of words to me.
Yeah, I
So
know that's a burn. That's some kind of burn that someone was like, I'm gonna just be mean. I'm gonna be mean to be mean. Also, of all the people on the earth, 50 Cent is the pettiest. Like, I would never want to be on his bad side. His burns are so out of control. I mean, if I were you, I'd be like, watch out what you wish for, and like
right,
fire something decimating back.
right.
Like,
Um,
have you watched him with Diddy? Oh, he
yeah.
has been off the chain.
No, I would not. I would not want to be insulted by 50 Cent.
You
Once,
wouldn't get back up again. It'd be over.
other insults. I once posted. I was watching Jurassic Park, and I posted something about the neckerchief that Sam Neill wears in that movie, and then Sam Neill says something mean back to me. And
Wow.
I was like, Sam Neill, I was just being playful. Also, love your work.
Well, again, I take both of these burns. They're both fine with me.
Yeah, yeah.
We can weather these.